Continuing Sefer Tanya for Wednesday, the 7th of ER. We are discussing arousing a love of Hashem by considering Hashem's love towards us. And when we think about the greatness and the the infinite greatness of Hashem and his love and care towards us, who are really of no concern, um, and the example being that a great and mighty king comes to a very low commoner to the extent that he's thrown on the dunghill, and the great and mighty king comes and saves this man and cleans him up and brings him back to the palace and brings him chamber within chamber and shares with him embrace and hugging and kissing, and how much love will be reciprocated by the man who was saved to the king. His heart will pour it out for love towards the king, and that is the mashal the author Rebbe gives of Hashem acts towards us, and that but Hashem being but the love of Hashem and Hashem's presence is infinitely greater than that mashal, because Hashem's mightiness and is more mighty than a king, since Hashem is the creator of all. And let's continue with the thought Kulam Shoalim, and the author Rebbe is going and basically describing. Let's continue with the author Rebbe is describing today. We're going to get right into it, continuing with the mashal, and continuing with the contemplation that the author Rebbe is suggesting to us to know what's going on in our relationship to Hashem, and thereby arouse a love for Hashem. So continuing inside, and they all the angels ask, where is Hashem's glory? Where is the place of his glory? And the angels answer, the earth is filled with his glory. Haim Yisrael Amoy. What does it mean? The earth is filled with his glory. That is Israel, his people. So the angels back and forth is in Yeshaya. And the Alter Rebbe answers the question. The Alter Rebbe answers what that the earth is filled with his people. What is that? The earth is filled with his glory. Who is that? That is Israel, his people. Ki hiniach HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Alter Rebbe continues, because Hashem forsakes et elyonim v'atachtonim. He forsakes the upper creations and lower creations, the upper worlds and the lower worlds. V'lo bachar b'kulam. He does not choose in any of them. Ti'i b'Yisrael Amoy. He just chooses only in Israel, his people. Very interesting. Very interesting. Hashem not concerned with anything. Hashem is not concerned with anything really in the world except Israel, his people. V'hoitziam mimitzrayim, and he takes them out of Egypt. Erevas haaretz, the obscenity of the earth. Makom hazuhama v'atuma'a, the place of filth and impurity. Note by Rabbi Weinberg, like the lowly and disgraceful individual who was raised from the dunghill by the king in person, the children of Israel were brought forth out of Egypt by the king himself. There's the mashal and the nimshal. So the mashal was a man cast on the dunghill. So who is that man cast on the dunghill? That's the Jewish people who were cast into Egypt, into a place of filth and impurity. And Hashem chooses in them. And Hashem, and everything belongs to Hashem. But he doesn't choose in anything. And he forsakes everything. He's not concerned with the upper worlds. He's not concerned with the lower worlds. And the other Rebbe says he's concerned only with Israel, his people, whom he takes out from the filth and impurity of Egypt. And how does that occur? Lo al yidei malach, lo al yidei saraf, not through an angel, not through another type of angel. Elyakeem Baruch Hu b'chavodo u'ba'atzmo yereh l'sham. But Hashem himself, Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He, in His glory and His essence and being, came down there, like it says, I came down to rescue you, to rescue him, rather, meaning the Jewish people, just as the king in the parable, after raising the individual from the dung heap, takes him to his palace and shares with him the closest companionship. In a like manner did Hashem treat his people. Today, in order to bring them close, Elov to him, Bekeru, V'yichud, closeness and joining, Amiti, real closeness and joining, Kashrut, in the connection, Hanefesh, in the Kashrut, the attachment, Hanefesh Mamash, of soul. So again, Hashem doesn't leave this to an angel, but he himself comes down, descends down from his glory to save them from the the depravity and filth of Egypt, to bring the Jewish people close to him with true closeness and real attachment of soul. The Bechinis Nishikin Pelepe, in the aspect of kissing mouth to mouth. The Daber Devaravaya, Zu Halacha, to say the word of Hashem. This is halacha, powerful line there. That Hashem comes down, saves the Jewish people from Egypt to give him his Torah, and that when the Jewish people speak the word of Hashem, which is halacha, they say halacha with their mouth. That's like the aspect of kissing, mouth to mouth. Ve'idabkut, and attachment, rucha barucha, spirit with spirit. He asagas hatera. What is the attachment, spirit to spirit? That is the understanding of Torah, v'yedias ratzone v'hakmato, and the knowing of his will and his wisdom. The kula chad mamash, which are entirely one. God's will and wisdom are truly one with him. Hence, through Torah study, Jews become united with God in a manner of union of spirit, and also hugging. The Torah mitzvahs also affect the unity of an embrace, similar to a person embracing his friend with his body and his arms. What is the embrace? Embrace is the fulfillment of the mitzvahs. Mitzvahs, with the 248 organs of the body. The Ramach Pekudin and Ramach Avarim de Malka, because the 248 commandments are the 248 organs of the king, like we spoke earlier. By Derechal, and generally in the Chalakim, the Shalosh Bechinos, this is divided into three categories: Yamin, small, the Emsa, right, left, and middle. This is Chesedin Revachamim, this is kindness, justice, and mercy. Terrain the brilliant Begufa Huli, two arms in the body. So you have Chesed, the right arm, the left arm of the body is the middle section. This is when we say Baruch Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav, that sanctified us with his commandments. What does it mean, kiddushanu? Kiddushanu ke'adam, like a man, hamakadesh isha, that takes a woman and mekadesh isha v'hiyot miyuchedet imoi, to be separated to him. Yichud Gemor, with a complete joining, Kemoshe Ketuv, like it says, V'dabek B'ishtoi, attached to his wife, V'yu Lebasar Echad, to become one flesh. Become Mamach, so too, V'yeter Alkein Le'inkates, so too literally, and much more than this, infinitely more than this, who Yichud Nefesh Elokit is the union of the godly soul, Ha'useket b'Torah, which is involved with Torah and mitzvahs, v'nefesh ha'chiyonis ha'ulevushehan, and also the vitalizing soul and its garments, Kenisha le'el, like we spoke about earlier, but Or Ein Sof, with the joining with the infinite light, Baruch Hu, blessed be He. Final note: the spiritual union infinitely surpasses the physical union of man and wife. the correlation to a physical union is valid only in the sense that in this world there can be no greater union than that of man and wife. This term is called kedushin. So there is the mushal of the marriage of man and wife, and the nimshal is the that's called kedushin, and the nimshal of that joining is also the joining of the Jewish people with the Kodesh Baruch Hu through the Torah and the mitzvahs, which is also called kedushin, asher kiddishanu, and it's the same lashon. That completes Wednesday's Sefer and Tanya for the 7th of ER. Let's jump right into Thursday for the 8th of ER, beginning right now. See you there.